Good morning, Sarah. There you are. Good morning, Sunshine. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Morning, Bree. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Fabulous. Bree meet Sarah. Sarah meet Bree. Sarah's looking at our team here. She has like a couple of steps left for licensing. Is that true?
Just my testing.
So
I actually took my testing last Friday and I missed the national by 1 point. I was so upset at myself. Because I took the courses through Alpha College for real estate.
Mhm.
And I did it online through their CE shop. And I worked hard at it. I studied, passed the course exams, no problem, first shot. And then I started, I ordered Prep Agent to study for my exam. And I just studied. And then I get in there and I'm like, sorry, that's my husky. He's talkative in the morning.
They talk.
But I studied and I got in there and I was so confident. And then they added like 10 additional questions. Instead of the 80 that they said it was 90. And the 90 that they added, I'm like looking at the questions, I'm like, they didn't go over this.
I've never seen it a day in my life. That's happened with almost every test I've taken. It was like the first 2 or 3. I was like, I never studied for any of this. And I'm a good studier. You know what I mean? I'm like, nope. In Washington State, I was talking to somebody yesterday. They actually asked me what the area of a triangle was. I'm like, I distinctly would have known had we gone over geometry in real estate class. And I was like, hang on, it's a trick. And I was like, so I turned the triangle into a square, which is easy.
Yeah.
And turn it into a square. I can do the area of a square and
Right.
then cut it in half. And I was like, ha. But still, that's crazy. So anyway, you're up in, are you in Virginia, Sarah? You're in
Yes.
Virginia. Yeah, that's right. Because you knew the areas where I'd lived before. Like,
Right.
well, yeah. So
Yeah.
I actually, I met her last night, Bree. She was in Bree and Liz. She was in the Lou Brown, part of Lou Brown's group. And Liz is familiar with that also.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's how I met. We had a meeting last time at Sarah. So I lived at Oyster Point in Newport News when it was just the tiny little bit that Oyster Point was. Now it's this huge mega thing. It was basically the park, the little shopping center. There was no movie theater there yet. There was none of that. I lived in the apartments right there. And then the office, the Keller Williams office, was my office. I started that office. So I took it from ownership group and built it. So now there's 2 offices there. They're rocking and rolling and all that good stuff. So anyway, it was a long time ago.
And it's built up. It's just like Williamsburg. Williamsburg used to be the
Sleepy.
smallest little community, and now it is just shops galore. But yeah, I've lived in all them places.
You guys had the best cheese shop in Williamsburg.
You talking about the cheese factory?
Yeah, no, not the cheese factory, the restaurant. Maybe it was that they called it that anyway. It was
The
some little,
Cheesecake Factory.
no, not Cheesecake Factory. It was in the downtown, the old part. It was there, and it was like cheese and sandwiches, and
It's the Canary Shop.
maybe that was it. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. So good morning, Ron. I don't know if you know this, but I can't see you. Maybe that's on purpose. Oh, Sarah went away too. All right. Well, let's dig in. What we normally do for you all that are newer here is we just start off with good news. And then from good news, we'll move into kind of whatever our challenges and opportunities are. So Bree, why don't you lead us off? What's some good news?
well, let's see. Today I have my buyer's consult,
Nice.
and I worked out at 5 this morning, and I lost 10 pounds of fat, and I gained 4 pounds of muscle in 5 weeks.
Wow.
Fantastic.
That is so impressive. Holy
Yeah.
moly. Do you do do you do one of those machines that you stand and hang on to and it measures all your,
Uh-huh.
okay. My place where I work out has one of those also. I did it a year ago when I started. I haven't done it since. And she's been kind of on my butt. She's like, you really should do it again to see how your body's changed. So that's encouraging. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Lost like, I forgot how many pounds net, but 10 pounds of fat and then gain 4 pound muscle.
Wow. Wow. That is really cool. That is really good. That means you're burning calories at a higher level. That means your clothes fit amazingly good. So kudos
Yeah.
or they're hanging on you, one or the other, but wow, I'm impressed. Kay, you're blurry as heck, but which is fine because I worked a lot of hours yesterday, so I'm kind of blurry as heck. There you go, Sunshine. Give us some good news.
Well, I just realized I have a closing tomorrow, so I'm ready, and it'll be my first one of the year, so that's huge.
Wow, you've been working on some big stuff too. So I know that with the commercial and the big deals and all those take a long time.
Yeah, well, this is a little one, but I mean, it's, it's a house, so that's good.
Yeah, congratulations. Very
Okay,
cool.
my good news.
Love it. Liz, can you talk today? Are you in a space at work where you can talk? Going once, going twice.
Yes,
Oh,
briefly.
is okay. So
I don't know if I have
Good
good
news,
news.
Carla.
Well, the good news is my phone is around to live another day, or we hope. And we have I have a traction area meeting tonight that I'm going to in our area. So I'm very excited to get out there and meet some new people and investors.
cool. Very cool. All right. Kathy, where in the world are you?
I don't know.
Kathy's on the road. She's traveling cross country.
No,
All right.
I'm in Custer, but I'm trying to sign in and stuff and it's not quite working right. So I don't see you right now.
That's okay. We can see you and you look fabulous.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You got any good news for us out there on the road?
I didn't hit any deer. That's good.
Okay, hang on. That's really good. I can't remember what state it was. It's up north. There's some state where they don't clean up the dead animals and they're everywhere on the side of the road. Is that the state you're in?
Not that I'm aware of.
I have to find out from my husband what state it was because we drove cross country about a year ago and we moved mom out from Washington State. So we drove the northern route. And as we're going through, we counted and I think we got like 50 even. And it's not a big state, it's a tiny state. And the section we're going through, I'm like, I'm just not used to that. Really not used to. I'm like, in Florida, that would not last. There would be all kinds of stuff all over that. So
Yeah,
anyway,
that's true.
yeah. All right. So let me see. Sarah, got any good news for us?
I'm trying to find
Somebody
it.
on is Sarah on? 'Cause I can't see everybody, so I just want to make sure you're talking to
Oh
me.
yeah, we can see you. Yep.
Okay. Well, I am meeting with a realtor today, possibly to list my home
Congrats.
on the market. So that's a little good news. Other than that, right now I'm just in my go mode. So
That is a good
just-
thing.
yes, I'm just studying. I'm eager to join your team. And oh, yes, I do have some good news. My grandson finally graduated to his toddler bed yesterday.
Oh, yay.
And his mom, my daughter, has been having the hardest time getting him out of his crib. So yesterday he finally graduated to his toddler bed and slept in it.
Yay.
You know, we all know
That's-
when we have kids at certain ages, they're very stubborn and hard to get to move to change. So that was nice. It was a nice
Yeah.
sight to see when she recorded it last night.
Oh,
That's
congrats.
fantastic news.
Yes, it really is.
Just saying.
It really is.
That is
Moving them
fantastic
along
news.
their passages, it's on one hand sad, and on the other hand, like really good. Like, oh my God, I'm throwing away this high chair, that kind of
Right.
thing.
And it's so funny because I have 2 girls and a boy, and my girls, they both texted me last night after seeing a video of him in his little toddler bed. She snuck in and took a video. And they're both texting me the same thing, talking about, I just want to cry. He's growing up so fast.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
said, yes, they do. It's
Yes,
like
they do.
blink and they're grown. So
take advantage of it. Yeah,
yes.
awesome. Thank you. Hey,
Uh-huh.
Ron, are you able to give us some good news? I see you're unmuted and still dark. So I'm not sure if you're a Liz situation. You can't, and you're just listening in, and that's cool too. Oh, hang on. I just saw it go off mute. Got some good news for us, Ron? We can't hear you. Are you there? I mean, I know you're there. I just don't know if you're there. Well, I'll circle back around. Okay. And feel free to butt in if you can get it back working again. All right, y'all. Challenges. What have you guys got? So I know you got something.
I think the challenges are going to be the internet.
Yeah, I've got to finish my booklet and then figure out how to upload it and get it to send to the right people. That's going to be my internet challenge.
Okay, so your thing on your booklet, you don't have to do anything on the booklet. You just do a separate
It's my
document
computer.
and email it over to Demi.
And this is a Zoom call.
Okay,
Who's Debbie?
Demi, D-E-M-I.
Demi.
So she's, yeah, so, oh, hang on, no, which booklet are you doing? You're not doing the Gary book, are you? You're talking about the booklet for real estate.
Yeah, the booklet for real estate.
Ah, never mind. Sorry.
Who's Demi?
Demi, so there's a
That's
book.
for writing the book.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
writing.
that's
a
Oh,
the
book.
that
writing book.
lady. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and she's the editor, and so everyone's uploading their stuff into the editor. Well, hello, Kathy.
So-
Wait, apparently we get somebody else over there. All right, what are the kinds of challenges you guys got?
Well, actually, I want to piggyback off of Kay's question about the booklet.
Oh, well, let's dig
Um,
into it. So hang on one
I'll-
second. Since you're doing that, can you explain to the other people that are new here what a booklet is? Let's go there first, and then let's go right into it.
Morning.
The booklet is a marketing piece that we I'm putting together for different associations that I'm trying to build relationships with and letting them know the services that we offer through the team, the investment services that we offer to the team and how we provide those services. And it's there's a template of a number of them on our resource site, our team resource site that some of them are catered to certain associations that Gary may have developed before, but there's also just a generic template that you can customize yourself. And I'm doing one for a teachers association, a paralegal association, and some dental, medical contacts that I have and relationships that I've had through the years. So I'm trying to do a booklet for those offices and just get them word about what it is we're doing, or what the services are that we provide and how, if they were interested in this space, we can help them. And so for me, I'm at the stage where I've looked at the booklet, I've put my booklets together for the different groups. And I know you had talked about Demi with Gary's book, but I'm just kind of curious as to how people are distributing in terms of both presentation. Is it like, I've seen different things like glossy, really, glossy kind of styles that go out, or something just more, I don't want to say standard, but less flashy. And as well as how you distributing. I have the intention of dropping off in some of these locations because I know some of these people personally. But to some of the larger associations, because particularly in the Washington, D.C. area, like the Teachers Association or even the National Education Association, that's going to be a bigger group that I probably just mail to. And I don't know if anyone's has rolled this out before, or has done this before and wanted to offer some tips and what they've done or what has worked best.
All right, who's used the booklet campaign to send it out, or other marketing campaigns like that?
I bought one of those binders with the spiral,
Thomas did that too.
Mhm.
and mine's real. I'm gonna make it look prettier, but it's laid out pretty easy to read. It
Mhm.
just doesn't have a lot of pictures in it.
Mhm.
And it has like a black back and a glossy see-through cover. And I just write it out on my printer, front and back.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, perfect.
And
That's
it's
nice.
pretty, yeah. And investors aren't necessarily looking at, versus like residential buyers, the whole wow factor. The wow comes in the presentation and the numbers and the resources that you give them.
That's exactly where my head is at, because I'm trying to balance between what I would do for my buyers or sellers in terms of what they'd be looking for versus the investors who really just want to know the nuts and bolts of what it is you're doing and how you crunch the numbers. It's a business deal. So thank you. That was very helpful.
Yeah, mine looks very nice. Like it's clean, but it's not flashy.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love a clean look for marketing. It used to be put as much stuff as you could in there. And
Mm-hmm.
I believe that, remember when websites first came out and stuff would flash at you and all that? kind of
Yes.
stuff? And it about induced a
seizure.
yes, it about induced a seizure. It was just all kinds of stuff all over the place. And it was like, wait, where am I supposed to click? And there's something about websites now, it's a lot of blank space. The best websites are very, very, very clean. They're a white background, maybe a solid color, black or gray, blue, that or something, but it's a clear back or a clean background with sort of a hone in of look right here, click here. And it's very, very simple and it's very
Okay.
easy to move around. I think the cover on the front and back is a nice touch to keep it protected. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
level of professionalism in there.
Mhm.
Although I agree with you, a lot of investors that I know like run around in jeans and a flannel, you know what I mean? And they just are regular, they're not the big glitz, gloss, LA, New York thing.
Well, and that's it. I'm at the point, right? I'm a minimalist at heart, so I don't really need to see a lot of flash and, things popping out at me. I just want to know what you're trying to say. So in balancing what I am trying to offer them in information, and basically from my own experience of having 1 foot in corporate America, 1 foot in real estate, I sometimes find in my legal space in corporate America here, it's like, what is it you're trying to say? Stop talking, stop talking, stop talking. Like, just tell me what I need to know. And I don't want to overwhelm with a lot of words that don't say anything. So I've spent a lot of time like mapping that out and just making sure it just conveys what I want to convey. But then it was the balance of flash versus, this is just all it is. Professional, but not like over the top.
Yeah.
So this is
I would-
all very helpful.
Yeah, I would also align up with your audience. And so if I was doing DC and the parts of DC that are that way, and I knew the clientele was that way, then I would polish it up. If I'm working with my standard investor in Virginia, let's say, and not like the center of, I don't know, Alexandria or whatever, hot
Mhm.
town is up there, then I would probably do exactly what you're doing. So I would match
Okay.
my marketing to my audience.
Kind of
Okay.
like Instagram versus Twitter. What's your audience?
Well,
That's very good.
that's very good. And
That is
not on-
very good,
and
actually.
I'm not on social media at all, so I wouldn't be able to.
I have
unpack
no
that, but-
idea what that means.
But
Yeah.
if you're asking who I'd probably be targeting based on those two platforms, only because I'm a follower of Elon Musk, I'd say Twitter.
Right.
Otherwise,
right.
it's just
Then-
because
then
I
you've
don't
got the
know all the
perfect thing
social
you're
media
building.
stuff. Okay.
Yep, you're building perfect. So
Okay. Thanks, guys.
you're welcome. Morning, PF. Give us some good news.
It's really cold here in the Boston area. It's 68
Oh.
degrees.
It's what?
68 degrees. So
Already?
yes. So
Oh,
it's nice
no.
for sleeping in.
Oh, when I went to Washington State for my son's house, it was really toasty up there for that week. I hit the perfect week. It was like in the 90s every day. It was gorgeous up there. And but they don't have AC because it's never in the 90s in Washington State. But Just leave the window open in the bedroom. And by the time he woke up, it was nice and cool and crisp. And it was really kind of nice. But it was really nice because I knew I was only going to be there for a week. So that made it really nice. So
Yes, exactly. When you can escape it, is better.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, all right. What other kinds of challenges have we got out there? I'm going to give a little bit more information for
I have a
one.
question.
Yeah, what do you got?
Okay, I thought the booklet was something we were going to email to the investors to get investor clients.
Oh,
So
that's
you
so
can.
good.
Am I missing the boat there?
I love this question, Kay. All right, so this is perfect because I was just gonna do this. I was gonna give a little bit more on the booklet. So the booklet was originally designed when Gary first did it. He put examples of flips into a document that was not that clean or pretty or nice. If you all looked at Gary's stuff, it's a lot of information, a lot of really good information. Not necessarily pretty at all, but really good information. And it was designed to say, here's this house, and here it is 4 months later when the guy flipped it. Here's everything that he did in it. Here's what the before was. Here's what the after was. Cost. Here's how much money the guy made. And then another example like that, and another example like that. And he took it to dentists because his first year in real estate, he contacted a bunch of dentists, asked them if they wanted to invest in real estate. And when they said yes, he said, do you know how? And they said no. And he said, I will teach you. And that's how he did 110 transactions his first year in real estate. He worked through 26 dentists. And so he wanted to get a piece of marketing out to them so they could see and learn. Because he told every single person, he said, I guarantee you by the end of a year, you'll have an investment property of some sort. You will have something that you've done at least one. His on average, they did 4 in that first year, each person. So that's really what he did, was he built up their portfolios. So he needed something that would show them examples so he could teach them. And that's what he wanted to do, was teach them. Because he told them right out of the gate, he said, look, my job is not to find you properties. I will teach you how to find properties. And my job is not to crunch your numbers. I will teach you how to crunch numbers. So that was the initial original intention of the booklet. And then he realized, hey, this thing's really cool. And I could use it for examples of rentals also. And so he tweaked it and turned it into a rental example. And then he did it again, and he did it for investors. And he just realized that the format was a really good format that would work across all kinds of different ways to market that were different than what your average real estate agent was doing. Hence the booklet. Now, move forward 30 years, the booklet, now a lot of people use a QR code to get it out to their people. They'll use a Google link code to put it out that way. They'll email it out. They do actual booklets still. Some people are still doing that. Some people are using other formats that look like a book, but online, and it actually looks like a book. It's really, really adaptable to any kind of marketing that you want to do, but put out in a booklet format. So you're not on the wrong track. You're absolutely on the right track. And you're actually, Kay, what you're doing is more true to the original of what the design of that booklet was.
Okay.
Yep. So
All right.
it's cool. I
was just gonna fix it all up and then, get a link somehow and then send it out through email.
Yeah. So when you get it all fixed out, the easiest way to get a link that I know of, there's a way to get QR codes. I don't know how to do it. Does anyone here know how to do a QR code and get that?
I'm done.
It's got to be Googleable, like easily Googleable. But I dump stuff up into Google Docs, and then it'll toss me up a link when I want to go share it. So that's what I do if I just want to send a link out. It's the easiest way that I have found. I used to have to host stuff on my website, which I hated. I was limited in how much I could host up on my website, so I could send out links. But with Google, you can throw everything up on Google and just send docs out, or just send links out to that.
So I would just save it to Google Docs.
Yep. And then what I also do, I don't just text or email a link to somebody. I tell them, hey, I'm going to send you da-da-da, and then I send it, because even if my son sends me just a link, and I mean, there's nobody more trustworthy, my husband, my son, my family, that kind of thing. I still won't open it because I'm like, dude, is that from you? And he's like, yes, mom. I'm like, okay, fine. Because I don't know. I never want to get hacked on stuff, you know?
Well, and as someone who has been hacked, I would, multiple times, unfortunately, that's why I'm not in the social media space a lot or at all right now, is because of that. Like, I don't know where the source of the information is coming from. And so I'm a very pen to paper girl, Kay, which is why I'm going with the, mailings, because I'm pen to paper at my foundation, but also because I don't want, I don't want to be hacked, and I don't want someone else to think they're getting hacked, but if they have not, if they're not expecting it's coming from me. So I'm just going to do pen to paper my way, but I like that there's different ways to do it. I'll probably morph into something else eventually.
Yeah.
Speaking
Gary-
of getting hacked, I got a call yesterday and they said I won the Publishers Clearinghouse and I was going to win all this stuff. And it was some foreigner and then he kept wanting to call me back and call me back. So I know it was a scam.
I've gotten them through my
had-
utility company, through Facebook twice, and they've shut me out of Facebook twice. I'm like done. So I'm done with it. It's exhausting.
I got a hacker one time somewhere on my phone. That's what it was. It was on my phone. And they said that they were the broker. And I don't know what else it was that they said. They had the broker's name, but they were going through all kinds of stuff. And I was on vacation and I was in the car. And so I just decided to play back. And I actually ended up screenshotting it and posting the whole entire thing on Facebook. I went 4 days with this person and I kept them going I was on a road trip. Greg was driving. I kept them going for hours and hours and hours. And it was one of the most fun things I've ever done in my life. And I've seen pictures of what hackers do. They have a bank of phones in front of them and they're just going between one phone and the other phone and the other phone and the other phone on this whole bank of phones that they've got going when they're trying to do that. And they've got a whole room filled with people. And that's what they do. And I thought, the longer I keep you here on my phone, the less time you have to go hack somebody else. And so we went 4 full days. I had a ball with it. I can't tell you how much fun I had with it. And then I put it on Facebook and I actually used it as a way. At the time, I think there were fires going in. Who knows, on the West Coast, there were fires going someplace. And so I put it up there and said, for everybody that copies and shares this, because I wanted to get the word out, if you know what you're doing and you have time and you feel like it, toy with the hackers. Because if everybody did that with them, maybe they'd finally, get a clue or whatever, but you're keeping them busy. And so I donated money for everybody who shared on it to the wildfires, not a ton, but we ended up getting a good sized pot of money to go to the wildfires by doing that. So I don't recommend ever toying with the hackers if you don't know what you're doing. Like it's best, the common advice is just hang up, block, that kind of thing. But if you have a slightly evil streak in you.
Well, and I'm just going to
combined
say
with
this.
the justice streak, maybe do it.
And I'm
Yeah.
just going to say this, and this is because I've seen too much, I'm seen too much in legal to be like, this is kind of crazy. People have nothing to do but spend all day trying to hack other people. So I'm just going to implore you all to continue to use your best practice protocols of not clicking on anything that you don't know where it came from and doing exactly what Gina just did. Did you just send me that? Because if you didn't, they're getting savvy these days and they're sending texts and everything else, putting people into alarming, positions, thinking something's going to happen to their accounts or something if they don't address something right away. And then it puts you in a whole other quagmire of mess that you just don't want to be in. So
Yep.
always ask the questions. If you don't know where it's coming from, don't respond to it and delete it immediately so that they don't hopefully have any way of getting to you in the future.
Yep. And if you want a really fun time, go back on my Facebook a few years and find a conversation. Hey, Greg, what was that person's name? Oh, what was it? I don't remember. It's like Lola or something like that, whatever it was. No, anyway, whatever. I can't remember the name. And it's long. It's Lana. It was Lana. That's what it was. It's a long conversation with Lana. So, all right, Ron, it's good to finally see you.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It's
I'll do a
wrong.
grateful thing real quick because I couldn't get it. Now you can hear me. Well, not grateful. Good thing is that I'm grateful. I wake up grateful that one, I'm here, and one, it's a good day. Day to create as opposed to worry about anything. And this is a really crazy question. It's not either. It's,
Bring it on, honey. We're
sure
kind of
that
crazy
you-
agents.
I'm sure that you have to be a realtor to participate in EXP. That is correct, right?
It is correct, and it's partly because of EXP is a nationwide company. And
Yep.
because of that structure, then in order to participate in the revenue share and things like that, you have to be licensed, even down to your revenue share that you create throughout the time that you're with EXP is willable. But because again, it's a nationwide company, the person that you will it to, if they're not licensed, they have a time frame, and I think it's 9 months. I could be wrong on that. It's a generous time frame, but they have a time frame where they must also be licensed. So everybody in EXP across the board, minus our personal admin that do not do anything to do with sales, are all licensed, 100% licensed. The beauty of it also is you can license in any state if you are if you're not going to operate in that state as I'm licensed in Wyoming. I live in Florida. I don't buy or sell in Florida. For that matter, I don't buy or sell in Wyoming, but I can still get referrals and it maintains my license. My license is in Wyoming for tax purposes. Gary has a license in Wyoming also, although he's also licensed in Virginia, Pennsylvania, maybe Florida too. So, but yes, he must be licensed.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, you
That's
said
not a
at the
crazy
beginning,
question.
I wanted to get on and see what y'all were doing and see how you were doing it. Last night's presentation was very good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And it was
Thank you.
eye-opener for me.
I think a lot of that is that you guys have such a good group of people.
We do.
You
We
do?
And,
Yeah.
Hey, say hey to PF there. I've done it. Hadn't seen you in a while. So anyway, I'm going to be bowing out in just a few minutes, but I like this format and I like the booklet concept. That's very good too. So thank you very much. And can I get back on every now and then? You do this on a regular basis, right?
Ron, you are welcome every day that we do it. We do it every day of the week, but not Mondays. That's the only day we don't. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then Sarah and Ron, just so you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is this. It's just a mastermind. It's tell me your good news. What are you struggling with? And then everybody, just like Bree pitched in with Liz, whoever has that knowledge just pitches in. And so it's very much, I am not somebody on a mountain who has all the knowledge of the world. I don't. So it's a very group effort. It's group fed, which I love. And then on Fridays, we do something different. It could be anything. We could be studying anything with mindset. I could be teaching something. I don't know. It just runs a little bit different format on Friday. So Friday, we're going to work on Occam's razor and do a little work around that one. If you guys want a little heads up on what we're working on. So yeah, but you're welcome anytime you want to, Ron. And so is
Thank you very
everybody
much.
from your
I
new
appreciate
ground.
that.
Yep. All right, you guys, it's 9:04. Unless anyone has anything pressing, going once, going twice. All right. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you all mañana.
Thank you.
Very much, Sarah and Ron.
Bye-bye.
Miss Gina,
Yes,
I have a quick question.
ask away.
I know Gary does meetings on Monday.
Monday Night Live. Yes. Would you like to be registered for that?
Yes,
Okay.
I don't
Talk
want
to
to
me-
miss that one.
A really good one. You'll really like it. It's very wide. It varies widely on what they're doing, but it's always geared towards some avenue of investing. Always. He focuses purely on investing. They'll bring in group speakers. Sometimes he'll speak. Sometimes they'll analyze properties. Sometimes they'll just bring in somebody who taught us how to be our own bank. Or I know that Lou's come in and spoken before a couple of times. So it really is just the top brains in the industry coming together and teaching on that. But give me your
Okay.
email one more time, Sarah, and I'll just get you all set up.
It's Sarah.
Mhm.
And then SCHAF is in Frank, ER, the number 4 at gmail.com.
That's right. I do have it over here. Okay, I'm gonna get you registered for Monday Night Live. You're gonna get an email reminder. I believe it registers you for a period of them. If you do not, you'll get the reminder for this upcoming one. If you do not get the reminder for the 29th, let me know. And until you're in with the company, I'll just have my assistant register you every week so that you're always up and registered. Okay?
Okay. And then for last night's video recording, Who do I need to contact to get the copy of that link?
Bruce told me that he would be, yeah, I've got you right here, email Lou Brown. Bruce told me that he would send me a copy of that once he got it done, and then I would send it out. I've got like 4 people that requested it on my end. And so he told me to get it. Somebody asked him during the meeting if he could do that, and he said he would send it to me. So I'm just waiting for it to come in.
I think I did, I think I messaged him privately in the meeting last night as well, to see if I could get it, because I don't know if I missed anything, or, you know, I just want to go over it. I want to be able to
Yeah.
play them over just to kind of get it in my mind.
That's what
know.
I like to do sometimes too with the really good ones is I'll just put it on for background. And
Mhm.
it's amazing because I'll pull stuff, even if I do a good meeting from a while ago and I do it every couple of months, I'll pull new stuff out of it. And it's like, wow, that's really good. I need to do that too, you know?
Right, you gotta replay it because sometimes you just, you know, your mind kind of slips away sometimes, you might miss something, so I want to make sure I have it, like I saved the last Monday night, so I can keep, you know, replaying it, that
Yep.
Susan sent me.
Yep. Now, when are you testing again out of curiosity?
Next Friday, the 26th.
Okay. Would you like to know what I do to pass my test when I do them?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So here's what I do. I go through all of the practice tests and all I do is make sure that I'm pulling at least 90s or above on every single practice test.
Okay.
And then, so I just go through from the very beginning and I'm just like, click, 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 all the way down through. And then I get all the way done with the first test. If I didn't pull 90, if I pulled anything less than a 90, I just take the first test again and again and again until I start, even though I already know it's like ABBA, I still keep on doing it again and again and again. And then once I'm done with that whole pass through and I know I'm pulling 90s on everything, I go back through and I'm like, all right, what words do I not know? Like, what am I not, riparian rights? What is that? I mean, I know what it is, but,
Right.
and then I do flashcards on just those things. And that's the only thing I study in that last cram bit are those flashcards are the things that I'm kind of struggling with. And then when I take my test, I go through your first, if you're not quite sure, your first guess is almost always correct one. It's almost always that way. So I go through the whole test and I just answer when I'm actually doing the official test, I just answer everything I automatically know. I know this, I know this, I know this, I don't know that, and I don't waste my time. I'm like, I don't know it, and I just know, I know. And then sometimes what will happen when I go back and do my second pass is this question was answered down here. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, and so then I go back through and I do my second pass. Again, the second pass is usually pretty quick. The third pass is where I go through and I'm like, and I'm doing the math in my head, because in the math in my head, I'm like, all right, I know I can miss 20 questions and still be okay. I don't have these 22 questions answered yet. All right, think. And then I'll try and go through. And usually it's the tiny words that will trip you up. Is not. It's with not.
Right.
It's these tiny, this watch. So read it through really slowly. Look for those. And usually you can ditch 2 of the choices automatically, and you're down between the other 2. Make your best guess and go. And I've passed every single test. And I've done that over and over and over again. And I've been licensed in a bunch of different states that have very different laws and very different rules.
Right.
And you're licensing in Virginia.
Correct.
Virginia is a buyer beware state.
Yes.
Okay.
Go
So
be
most-
everywhere.
Yes, most states are not. Most states are a seller must disclose everything. And Ron, you can stay on this as long as you want. You can ditch anytime you want. I totally respect your time. So up to you. So know that you're in a buyer beware state. So the laws and the test are written for that versus a seller is liable for everything. So keep that main concept in the back of your head, especially when you're dealing with legal questions. Hang on, we're a buyer beware state. I know it's probably A or B. This one lines up more with a buyer beware state. So I'm going to choose this one.
Now, is that for the state, or does that go for national as well for Virginia
It won't
testing?
go for national for Virginia. National is the same test across the entire nation. And national is
That's the
more.
one I'm
things like-
testing for is national. I passed to Virginia, no problem.
Okay,
That was
perfect.
just like
And national is things like the Civil Rights Act. What year was that? Redlining, redistricting, those kinds of main things are usually what the national is about. And for me, it was just to cram through the to memorize the dates and those kinds of things of, and who's in charge over Fannie Mae and who's in charge over Freddie Mac and how do those work? It's those kinds of things. The good thing is once you do get the national down, it's basically the same test no matter where you go. So when you are passing in multiple states, once you get the national down, you have the national down. You just need to learn the particulars of the states. Yeah.
Now, one more question. I had a question on the national exam, and I sat there for a minute. I'm like, what are you asking me? And it was a question that said the mortgager is going to put 15,000 down.
Oh, math question.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. It said that the mortgager is going to put 15,000 down. The total debt was 38%. I'm sorry, 36%. Their total debt to income ratio was 26%. I'm sorry, 28%. And what is the total amount that they're going to need at closing? And I said, huh?
You gotta work the math backwards. And you literally have to work it backwards. So, you're gonna make me think.
I'm sorry. It wasn't at closing. I got the 2 questions. It was, what is the total monthly amount that they can afford? They have a $300 car insurance, a $200. This is what it was. I combined 2 questions. I'm so sorry. So it was, the buyer has a $300 car insurance, a $200 student loan. They have a 36% total debt, and then they have the 28% debt to income ratio. What is the total monthly payment they can afford for mortgage?
So do you know how to do more DTIs on the front end and back end? And do you know what that is?
No.
Okay, so I always have to call my loan officer. Whenever I go to borrow money, I always call my loan officer and I'm like, tell me what the calculation is on the front end and the back end. So, and I'm gonna probably butcher this. On the front end, I believe, and Ron, you might know this better than me. The front end is like just your mortgage and your raw, this is how much money you make, and this is how much you can afford. The back end includes all of your, and it could be reversed on this one. The back end includes all of your credit card, revolving debt, those kinds of things. And they look at minimum payment only. And they want a debt to income ratio of like, say, 36 and 42 or something like that. And so you just need to know what those ratios are and which one's back end and which one's front end. So I don't, somewhere, if they told you the debt to income ratio was 28%, then you just need to work backwards as far as how much 28% of X amount. And so that's what's going to get you that. It's been a long time since I've tested. Ron, do you remember front end and back end and which one's which?
When it comes to the math,
Nah. Okay. I would literally Google it. I really would. I would Google front end and back end ratio, mortgage ratios, and how to calculate them. Because I know that you're going to be doing the math backwards from a percentage, which means that you're going to be dividing instead of multiplying, and which doesn't make any sense, but it works. And you need to go work backwards from that DTI. But that's what DTI is, debt to income ratio, and that's back end and front end. One is with all of your payments included in. It's a minimum payment. So if you owe $20,000 on a credit card, but the minimum payment's $40, it's only $40 that they're calculating in.
Right.
It's not you don't calculate in food, heating, electricity, phone. Actually, phone might be because of the way that phone works, but you don't calculate in those things. It's literally car payment, car insurance, credit cards, mortgages that you're not going to sell. So the mortgage might be figuring if you're going to not sell and have a mortgage payment. It's those kinds of payments. It's revolving payments and credit payments. Those are what are calculated into a DTI. So
Okay.
I can't remember if front end or back end is with all the revolving credit or without all the revolving credit, but that's the difference. The front end is just, I make $10,000 a month. My mortgage payment's going to be $3,000 a month. I'm allowed a 40%. 3,000 is only 30%. I can qualify. The other side is I have $3,000 a month mortgage. I have 500 car payment, 300 insurance, 200, 200 and 200 on credit cards and da. And altogether that equals $5,800 per month. I only make 10,000 a month. I'm only allowed a 42%, let's say, or maybe whatever that works for this example, which would be 4,200. I have 5,800. I can't qualify.
Gotcha. And
So
that's what I
that's
think
the
threw me
concept.
off. Right. I think that's what threw me off is because they didn't give what she made a month. You know, it was.
No,
it
they're
should've-
making you work it backwards.
Right. And I was like, what are they asking me? So
Yeah.
I don't know if I got that right or not. So I definitely Google that to find out, because usually with the math, I'm good with numbers and math. So I usually get that very quickly. But they throw them questions in there sometimes and it's like, what? Do you even know
Yep.
what you're talking about?
Yep. And truly as a real estate agent, as an investor, yes, you need to be able to calculate. It's simple math. As a real estate agents are classic. They know how to do 3% of anything. That's pretty much all they know how to do. And that's very normal. It really is. And the rest of it, we have like little charts and little, like I know that Lou gives you this amazing calculator spreadsheet when you go through one of the programs, and it gives you that, which allows you to start with the, you know, the price of the house that they need and how much money they need, and just work it backwards to, you know, what your offer can be made. And it's very simple. It's really, really well laid out. So when you
Okay,
get,
Susan was mentioning that to me last night, because when I was asking her about, you know, either, you know, trying to sell my home or what the best route would be, would it be sell my home, like just as a regular seller, try to sell it to an investor, should I rent? And, you know, she's like, I don't know, because I am in a rural area. So she said that somebody on her team has, I think she said Lou, had a calculator spreadsheet that she just starts to plug numbers in and it works.
it
just
would be
works.
Lou. It's brilliant. It really is. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really good.
so-
And I know because Susan and I were in that class together with Liz, who was on the meeting today. All of us
Okay.
did that. Yeah, we about a year ago, we did that big. It was, I don't know, 3 or 4 days. Yeah, I don't remember. It was 3 or 4 days. So it was really good. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're in good hands with her. She knows what she's doing.
Sarah,
Well,
if you
I'm
go
very,
to if you go to YouTube and just say debt to income ratio explained,
okay,
you might find it where someone actually talks you through it. I'd rather listen to someone talk me through it. The only thing to look for, in my opinion, is does that make sense? In other words, there may be people out there that are teaching you on YouTube that aren't necessarily as smart as they should be. So
right.
just ask yourself the question, does that really make sense, what they're saying? And it usually does, but occasionally you hit someone that's, you're wrong on what they say.
Okay, I'll definitely do that. I'll definitely search that as well.
Okay?
Thank you.
I'm gonna bow out. It was really great listening to everybody here today. Thank you very much, and I'll see y'all again. Bye-bye.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Carolyn.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.
All right, Sarah, I gotta run. I gotta jump on a phone call in a few minutes. Do you need anything else?
Nope, I'm gonna talk to Susan this evening, after, I talked to the realtors, but I'm really excited to get this exam passed. So I can join under her and then, start learning from you all and have you as my coach and mentor.
You got it, darling. All right.
Thank you.
let's
Have a
go.
good one.
You do too. Bye-bye.
Bye.